Hey guys, welcome back. This is Heather Hope Reed with the Inspired Entrepreneur Podcast. Welcome back. Surprise, I am back. And, you know, sorry that I took a break. It was kind of unexpected. I took about 2 months off. And yeah, maybe I'll get into it a little bit more later. But let's jump into it so I don't lose any of you just yet. The Inspired Entrepreneur was originally, what was it originally? A book or a podcast? The idea came about in the same thought. So I wrote this book called The Inspired Entrepreneur. Is the name of this YouTube channel. It's the name of my podcast. And for quite some time, I was helping business owners and sort of people tap into the universe, the law of attraction to grow their business because that's how you do it, right? And so I did that for a couple of years and I put together all of these daily messages and I put them in a book. And so you can pick it up on Amazon. And then I wanted to create a podcast with it. It was a daily podcast, but you know what daily is? It's a lot. It's a lot. So I do apologize. So right now, I'm feeling inspired to get back, but not daily. So I'm feeling like a few times a week would be really cool because I kind of miss it, and I kind of miss having more regular content on my YouTube channel. It helps my channel grow because I've seen what happens to my analytics when I don't post regularly or daily even. My channel was really strong when I posted daily. So, but I didn't want to get caught up in that whole mindset that a lot of people get caught up in of like you have to do more to progress. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to think too much about it, and I'm just going to go with inspiration and going with what feels good. And let's jump into it. So I think for today, I am going to do today's message in the book, and what I feel like I'm going to do is quite possibly post a podcast episode every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's kind of what I was thinking when I first was inspired to do this again. And it can either be the day, of that day from the book, or it could be just any random day, or it could be one that really calls me. So it's not going to be possibly any particular day. And I think that's just going to flow a little bit better. It's going to be more organic, more law of attraction like. So let's jump into it. So today is July 12th. It's Monday. Happy Monday to you guys. I miss talking to you guys. I miss some of you I had thought about, and then you pop in and make a comment like the very next day, which is so cool. So today's really short in the book. So if you don't have your copy, don't worry. You can go order it, or you can just listen, and that's totally cool too. So July 12th, keep any negative thoughts out of the conversation, period. That's it. So, you know how you have conversations with people, strangers, family, friends, spouse, whoever, right? So, you have all of these conversations throughout the day. And I think it's incredibly normal for humans to talk in a certain way that, if you're in this law of attraction stuff, that, you got to speak what you want, like what you want to have happen or come to you in your life, your desires. You want to talk those, like speak them into existence, right? So you have to watch how you have conversations with people because it matters. Every conversation you have matters with what's coming into your life. So, I do have conversations from time to time with people, and sometimes they can be really lengthy. I work from home, I do all these introvert type of things. So I don't interact with a lot of people like some people do. So I have to, I watch myself sometimes because I will start talking to someone and then it feels really good to talk to somebody. So I'll talk to them for hours. Like if that's possible, it happens. I talked to my handyman last week. he's all into this stuff. We live in a small town that, has a different way of thinking a lot of times. And so he became my handyman, and we talked for 4 hours. So no work got done that day, and that was fine. It was a holiday. And it was totally fine because he was wrapped up into this conversation because he hadn't met anybody who was into this stuff, Abraham Hicks and law of attraction and all of this. And for me, it was cool to talk to somebody who's into it, like actually a physical person in front of me is pretty cool. And something I miss doing is talking to people in person. And so we spent 4 hours. So I was pretty exhausted after that. I was done. Like I do notice I'm pretty careful with how I spend my time with others because I do get tired. Like if I'm talking or listening, mostly listening to someone for a long time, I get tired. It's like it takes a lot of energy for me. And that's probably, the whole introvert thing. But if you get into that stuff. But so it was a lot, but it was like enough for the week. It was so enough talking with another person other than my husband, because my husband doesn't talk a whole lot. He listens, but he doesn't talk a lot. And my handyman does. So it was like a lot of like, I'm not used to a human in front of me talking so much. So, which is totally cool. It was a cool conversation, but it's like, I'm pretty much done for the week at that point with talking to people. So anyway, getting back to conversations. So this is where I have to watch what I'm saying, especially, trying to break the habit, kind of like what Joe Dispenza says, the title of his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Human. I really love that idea. I love that thought of breaking the habit of being human, or breaking the habit of negative thinking or negative talking or whatever. Breaking that habit. It's just a habit. That's all it is. So watching how your conversations flow is going to help you a lot, because if you're just like, especially the people that you talk to, you have to kind of limit the people, because if they're negative, you're just going to go down the rabbit hole of negativity, and then you're going to feel like crap, and then stuff comes to you that's just like, oh, God, why is life so hard, right? Have you lived a life that you've said that? I have. I have lived the life for many years of life is hard. And now I don't live that way anymore because I changed everything in my life. And now life is a lot easier. I don't buy into the whole life is hard. It's just law of attraction. That's all it is. So you just pay attention to where the conversation is headed, where you're headed, and then turn it back around to something more positive or light, or, whatever subjects that might be heavy, kind of, bring them around back to something more positive if you can. At least, shoot for being hopeful. So what I've been doing for the last few weeks, lots of things. I have decided to get back into depression healing. I'm not crazy about the word healing. I'm still working on that word, but depression, many years ago, well, you guys kind of know, a lot of you know that I was a therapist for many years. I also had major depression for 25 years, and they kind of go hand in hand. So I stopped being a therapist, and over some time, I stopped being depressed. I'm not saying I was depressed because I was a therapist, but it didn't help at all. It actually made things worse. But, and I can get into all of that later on, but it came to me through a series of events, books, courses that I have been doing, that, teaching or helping others, guiding others with the law of attraction, with the universe, with spirituality, in the areas that I have absolutely excelled in. Just excelled. Like so far beyond, just doing okay. Does that make sense? So when I was a business coach for a while, because I have a lot of business sense, people tell me, and I really enjoy talking about it. But and I had a lot of success in certain areas of growing my business, and I just didn't want to talk about those particular things because to me that was just like so not very meaningful. I really like doing things that are super meaningful in the world, in people's lives, like big things. And so little things just don't excite me. They don't feel that important to me. They might be important to others, but really in my mind, it's like a lot of things that I did really well in my business, I could teach on, but they just, they're not going to get me out of bed every day. You know what I mean? So I was inspired by this one book and this one author, Anita, oh, now I forgot her name. I gave her book to my handyman because I thought it would be a good book. And I forgot her name because it's not in front of me. But anyhow, about doing something bigger. And there are areas in my life that I've excelled massively that are more important than the things I had been doing. So one of them is completely ridding my major depression, my suicidal thinking every single day depression. I do not have that at all. I'm quite happy in my life. I'm very, I'm doing very well. So that's one of them. Love is the other one. My amazing husband, and going through all the crap that I did to get to the other side of being incredibly happy being single and then manifesting my amazing husband that just gets better and better every day. And then some other manifestations that are incredibly important to me. But anyhow, so I decided I wanted to do something really big. I want to help people get out of that depression and get out of the labels of depression and out of that identity of depression. So I'm creating a course on the exact steps on what to do. Like it is a step-by-step course of how to do this according to the law of attraction, like how you do this. So anyway, so that's what's getting me every day of, doing something really big. I think this is a really big, important topic to help people feel better. It doesn't have to be necessarily depression, but when you're not feeling so great a lot of the time and getting back into being happy. So let's get back to today's message. Keep any negative thoughts out of the conversation. So watch the conversations that you're having. Watch the things that you're saying because it can get kind of loose, right? When you're talking to somebody, you can kind of get sidetracked or down the rabbit hole or, getting back into the thoughts that you used to, say. And then you're just back there again. And it's like, it just takes this conscious awareness in the moment of like, oh, okay, my side of the conversation is going this way. What do I really want in life? I want to feel good. I really want to feel good. So I got to watch what I'm saying. Because in the grand scheme of things, talking to somebody about it, like talking to somebody about something, what does that really do? Does it change anything? Usually, no, it doesn't. It usually creates more resistance, more, venting. It's law of attraction. Whatever you're going to think about, you're going to think more about. Whatever you talk about, you're going to talk more about that due to the simple fact of the law of attraction. It just brings more of whatever you're focused on. So don't go down the rabbit hole. It's just so not worth it. So it's just a reminder for today to just watch your conversations everywhere. Cashier at the grocery store. You can reword things. Like if you're in the middle of a sentence, reword it. You realize, oh, what I'm about to say is not very positive. Think that in your mind. And you're like, okay, anyway, enough about that. Let me get my debit card to work. I stop myself in mid-sentence and be like, okay, change the subject. It really means nothing to talk about this. And that's how you break that habit of talking about things you don't want to talk about and then creating more of that in your life. It's just so insidious sometimes of how it kind of sneaks in and you're like, oh, son of a, what? It's like, I said it again. And, because I'll hear people a previous relationship, like a conversation would go on, and he would say, "Oh, story of my life, story of my life, story of my life." And it was always negative. The story was always negative. And then he always repeated that. That's just the story of my life. And I'm like, oh God, create a new story. That's all you have to do is create a new story and keep repeating the new story. You don't have to tell other people. You just tell yourself every morning. Like that's what I do myself. I have created a new story, and every morning, soon after I wake up, I sit at my desk and I repeat the new story. It's just a reminder of this is the story that I'm focused on. I'm not focused on the past stories. I'm focused on the stories that I want to create. So there you go. Okay, guys, let me know. I'm also considering again doing video podcasts. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get the tech set up, and if that, when that works, we'll see. But I will be. I do have another YouTube channel. There's not really anything on it, but it's Heather Reed Hope. I'm sorry. Wow, that was weird. Heather Hope Reed, Where Depression Meets Hope. I'm playing around with that title. That was kind of the title of the book that I was writing, and then it just became a course. I really want to get to really. I just want to help people as quickly as I can in the best modality, the best way. So a book is in the works, but I think the course is so much more important. It's going to be super affordable. But I'm playing with the title Where Depression Meets Hope, at least for the book. And then, because, getting to hope is a big deal. In the law of attraction, because I do use the emotional guidance scale within my course. It's like step number 4. It's, it's important, but it's not, the first 3 steps. But as Abraham says, if you can get to number 6, which is hope, the law of attraction, your vortex will suck you in. And due to the law of attraction, if you can get to hope, you're going to start seeing evidence of things that you want. And once you start seeing evidence, that's how beliefs are created, right? You have a thought, keep thinking it, and then you start seeing evidence of it. And then you start believing it to be true. That's how you create a new belief system. So if you can get to 6, which get to hope, the universe will get you to number 1. It will get you to appreciation, joy, happiness, all that good stuff. So I'm kind of thinking of creating my course of like Get to Hope or Return to Hope, something like that. And yes, my name is Hope. So, and I did change my name back when I was a depression coach, because as a therapist, the number one thing on our job description was instill hope in our clients. And so when I became a coach, and particularly depression coaching, I changed my name to Heather Hope because I thought it was appropriate. So here we are, full circle back. And so that's what I've been doing. And I actually started a new doctorate program as well. So I'm excited about that. So I've been doing things behind the scenes, just trying to feel my way through like what I'm doing with this channel, this podcast. I don't necessarily need to do the podcast, but I kind of miss it. And so that's where we are. Okay, guys, have an amazing rest of your day. And I think I'll be back on Wednesday. Let me know if you're going to continue the journey with me. And let me know also if depression is something that you encounter. That's the word I'm going to use, encounter. I don't like the word suffer or any of those other words that are just a lot. Okay, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will be back again this week. Thank you. Bye-bye.